Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcore Guides, being my guide for God of War 2 on Titan difficulty. Today we're doing part 10, entitled Euryale's Defeat. Yeah, what a nice name for that, I guess. So, I don't know. Yeah, this one is definitely one of my least favorite sections of God of War 2 in general. It's mainly just this entire puzzle. I've never really been too big or fond on, especially since it just takes so long to lift things up that it's just a bit tedious. There's a couple of fights that are noteworthy. We fight the second rock monster, who I brought up in I think the last video where I talked about the other a couple that do come up later. That of which being, one with the harpies, and then the other one with in Atlas. Yeah. And that's gonna be a while. I don't remember how far Atlas is in terms of where we're at. Not that far. We're just gonna go through the courtyard of Atropos and all that, and then yeah, okay, so we're pretty close. And in all honesty, we are now I think we're now over the halfway mark, or at least in the halfway mark of my videos, because I think I've recorded 19 videos, I think it was. So yeah. And we're pretty much at the halfway point, and especially definitely the halfway-ish point of the game, probably too. Because I feel like every video I do is usually about 20 to 30 minutes, so that's probably a good give or take type situation there. I'm trying to think of things to talk about while we're doing this. Well, in recent news, in terms of stuff I've been playing, I should say, because I've been playing a couple games lately. I bought Fire Emblem Gage. I like it. I'm 13 chapters in. I like the gameplay. I don't really care that much for the hub world, personally speaking. I don't know. It's just kind of like a pass-through type area to me. I always just kind of go back after every fight just to do a thing and then go back into the actual combat. But I do enjoy the animations. I like the combat a lot. I think it's a pretty neat game. The story so far is okay. It's nothing super noteworthy to me right now, but it definitely does have one of my own personal favorite Fire Emblem characters that shows up in it. I don't want to spoil it just in case, because I know it's probably relatively new at this point. I don't want to say who it is, but I'll just say that it's basically one of the ones that you can engage with, so to speak. It's one of the ghosty pals, and she shows up later. So yeah, just I don't know if this is too much of a spoiler. Let's just say that she's an archer. She's definitely one of my favorites. Mainly because I have a bit of a bias toward her, because it was one of the first Fire Emblems I tried to play. I didn't get into it at the time, but I just like her design and her character. I just thought it was kind of neat. And then, on top of that, I also found out, and it took me, I don't know why it took me so long, but I found Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn was digital on the PlayStation 3 store, and I bought that. It was $40, which is a bit steep for an older game nowadays, but even then still, I went ahead and bought that, and I've been playing the crap out of it, because I do really enjoy it. I like warrior games. I don't have very many of the original Dynasty Warriors, and I don't have that many Samurai Warriors either. I usually just kind of have a few of them, especially the ones from the newer gen. I do want to play Dynasty Warriors 3 at some point. That one looked pretty nice. I did play 6. Didn't much care for it, but I do like 8. Actually, before we start talking about that, so yeah, as you see what I'm doing here, in terms of guide stuff, once I get into this room, I just slow down the time, and then I just take out these, I don't know what they're called. I'm just going to call them maybe a champion or something, or maybe a Morningstar type guy. But yeah, if you use slow down time here, it just makes everything incredibly much easier and much more actually fun, not just to watch, but to do. Having slowdown time, it makes these enemies a lot more fun to play with. And funny enough, the champion guys or whatever, the big guys with the Morningstar that you see, they're pretty fun on their own. It's just that once you get to a section later on where they start getting more armored up is when they start getting more harder. But anyway, back to Muso talk. So yeah, I like the warrior stuff. I mostly play a lot of the spin-off stuff because I'm lame, but you know how it is. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Gundam Reborn because I tried finding it physically, but I never decided to look for it digitally because I'm dumb. And I also found Raito 2 was also available on the store, which for some reason I kept thinking that it was never available anywhere. And I don't know why I was so hell-bent on getting it physically either, because it's like, I have Rhino 1 digitally, so I don't know. Rhino 1 is in terms of SMT, for those that are curious. I'm talking about SMT Rhino. I have the first one, and then I recently also got the second one too, so I haven't gone through it because I haven't beaten the first one yet. That's just typically how my backlogs work, is I'll buy an RPG that looks pretty fun, and then I will probably barely even play it. Or if it's like in the case of Fire Emblem right now, where I just... Well, I haven't played it non-stop just because it's been a pretty odd week. It's been a pretty stressful couple of weeks, and Thursday might also be a bit scary too. I don't know, but we'll see. It's just more so like work stress than anything else. So, and then I have, other things that go on, like a dentist appointment coming up later, and like in early March and stuff. And you know how that stuff goes. Appointments are always just very nerve-wracking to me. Just even when it's just a regular thing, which this one isn't. I might have to get a tooth fixed or whatever. I don't know. I'm hoping they will. I've been having some pain, so hopefully I can take care of that. But that's enough about me. Let's talk about the game, the things that truly do matter the most. So yeah, puzzle is not that. It's a weird puzzle because like one of these starts to slowly go down. I think it's like the second to last one. So like it's not really like an incredibly hard puzzle. It's just irritating because you have to know for a fact that like you have to be quick on your feet. You don't want to get stuck in a cutscene like I did, but it's okay. If you get stuck in that particular cutscene, you should be fine. Also, I guess something else before we get into the next action. I did today. I bought some G Fuel for once. I found a Crash Bandicoot limited edition G Fuel one. It tastes okay. It's got like a mango-ish taste to it. It's fine. It's not as strong and acidic as Monster is. I don't normally drink energy drinks like at all. I try to avoid them as much as I can. Just cause, in case of heart problems or something, I don't want to deal with that. I don't know if that's technically true. I just, I'm a little bit of a paranoid type guy sometimes. So, but I bought one and I was like, fudge it, why not? I'm going all out. I'll go ahead and get it. And then here, strangely enough, I upgrade Kronos' Rage to level 2. And I think I probably do that because of the dogs. Pretty sure that's why. But in other news, like, I've just been, mostly just playing those. Like I said, mostly just been playing through Gundam Warriors and then working on a sketch on the side. But that's taking a while to do because the person that I'm trying to draw right now is fan art of somebody, and they have a lot of accessories because that's just how sometimes, characters are. So I don't want to spoil the character just yet. I haven't posted the whip or anything. I'd rather leave it for later. You posted it to Twitter, hopefully this weekend. But yeah, for guide instances, I should probably talk about that. So essentially, what I'm doing is, well, obviously waiting for the door. You probably could have gone through the door at that point, but I'm just not gonna take that chance. I pretty much just kick the dogs, and then when it gets close to being about to hit the ceiling, that's when I just light up Kronos' Rage. You don't need to upgrade it to level 2. You could just have Kronos' Rage level 1 for a good while, and it could just be relatively effective. If you're trying to go for just a small amount of stun that you need in that instance, that's where I would say is probably a good point of contention to kind of... Or not contention. That's a good point of, whatever, to use it. Words. English vocab. Very hard, I guess. Actually, hold on. Am I even recording at all? Yes, okay. I get worried about that sometimes, where I start thinking to myself that maybe I wasn't actually recording commentary the entire time. That would have been very, very goofy. That happened once. I think it was like a 20-minute video, and I forget which video it was. It might have been like Lollipop Chainsaw or something, but where I recorded an entire episode, and then I got pissed because I realized... No, it might have been Bioshock 2. I don't know. Also, in case anybody doesn't know, something I was thinking about... Maybe I'll do it still. I have no idea yet. But real quick, how I do my guides is I usually don't like to do one game after another in terms of from the same franchise. I like to at least space them out between at least 2 to 3 games, possibly, if even. So we might not get to... and I like to do them in order, typically. I'm going to be skipping out on God of War Betrayal just because it's a mobile game. I don't usually do mobile games, so it's just yeah, I don't have to do them in order. It's just a thing that I do. Like for Devil May Cry, I might just do DMC 4 instead of just the others. You know, that there are exceptions to that rule. But oh yeah, for this fight, it just did the same thing you do with the rock monster before. And if anybody needs a re-explanation, just in case you've never seen that one, essentially what I do is I get as far back as I can, and I pretty much just wind up for a triple triangle attack to get some slams in, or just any sort of slam attack on him. And also when he starts to spin around, that's a good moment as any to kind of like get some pop shots in, like just throw out some squares, or even just wind up your triple triangle combo. And for the most part, it's a relatively simple, straightforward fight. It's just more so not getting hit. That's pretty much the idea. And then of course with the Harpies, you know, you're gonna have to deal with them. So when they show up, just take priority and just beat them down, so that way they don't get in your way. But yeah, this is in terms of God of War stuff I want to talk about. So I might have mentioned this in God of War 1. I don't remember, but I have recently thought about like, what if I do Challenge of the Gods? Like, what if people start asking for that? And it's like, because I usually do guides of just game, you know, regular game, and I recently, not too recently, but I think like last year or the year before, a couple of years ago, I think I started. I haven't really done much with it. I only did like 2 videos, but I have a series called Boss Rush, and I haven't done much with it, mainly because I'd have to probably go play some of those games again to do them, but it depends on the game, I guess. But yeah, it was a series that I wanted to do, but it hasn't really gone anywhere too far with it. And if I was to do the Challenge of the Gods or the Challenge of the Titans or whatever, it would of course be probably in one video, like one whole video of doing all challenges. I could do all the challenges of every game in God of War, maybe minus Neo God of War, which by the way, I do want to say that I'm not going to not do God of War 4 or even Ragnarok in the future. I will be doing, of course, Chains and even Ghost of Sparta at some point. But as it stands right now, I might just... I'm gonna wait to do Chains, because Chains will be next in terms of release order. And then I could do God of War 4 outside of just, like, because those, to me, count as, like, different games, sort of, to the point where I could theoretically do them as their own thing. But yeah, with the Argonauts, I know I talked over it for a second. I was being dumb, but basically just... When they laugh, that's a good time to strike. That's one thing. You can actually get away from them, and if you get too far away from them, they kind of start to laugh. So that's a good time as they need to do like a triple triangle combo and smash them. This part's not too difficult, thankfully. It's just probably like the Rock Titan's probably like the only thing I can consider being potentially difficult. Also, I'm going to show it off, but we're going to go get the first of the 3 Omega chests. I still think that's what they're called, I believe. But before that, of course, you know, I'm going to do the fleece thing. And I'm going to, you know, break this wall down. So, yeah, just parry that. There you go. Easy enough. But, yeah, so for those that are curious if I will ever do God of War 4, like, you know, it could take a while before I get to there. If I'm doing I can't speak. If I'm doing them in order, then it would take a while because I have to go through all these and then, you know, the PSPs, God of War 3, Ascension, and then God of War 4, and then God of War Ragnarok. But, I could theoretically do them on their own because they technically kind of are different enough to where they would be. I mean, technically speaking, I don't have to be that professional, especially with, you know, DMC, because I thought about doing DMC 4 of all things. I mean, I even thought about skipping, you know, Luigi's Mansion 2 because I can't really record it. I don't have the device for it, so it's like I could just skip that one too, you know. It really all just kind of depends, I guess, on how I'm feeling that day. But for the most part, I try to do things in order. And in terms of, like, Challenge of the Gods, like the... you know, the extra bonuses for God of War, I might not do them. If you're curious, I have done them on my other channel, which you can find, of course, in the description, or you can find it on my main channel, or you can find it on my channel section, but you can find it there. I've done, like, it was streamed, so just look at my streams, look for the God of War Marathon, and I did the challenges there. So anyway, take care, everybody.